Well, here you go, folks. This is an engine bay of a Citroen 2CV. Now, this is the wonderful Citroen 2CV engine. This is the 602cc, about 28 brake horsepower. What's good for about 70 miles an hour. This word is used a lot on engines, bulletproof, but these engines really are bulletproof. Now, I have done this many a time, driven back from the south of France with 2 or 3 people in a car, with a small trailer in the back, camping stuff in the boot, and absolutely screamed it flat out all the way home on the French motorways. And the engine will thank you for it. It's designed to be driven hard. These engines are not designed to be like a modern diesel petrol engine. You're up for the gearbox as quick as you can. No, this is old school engine. You need to rev them to get the best out of them. So let's have a little look. The front of the engine, the fan. This serves 2 purposes. One, to cool the engine. The other one is to bring the heat into the car in winter. Sorry, forgot to mention, behind the fan is where the pointer condenser is located. I extremely strongly recommend you replace the pointer condenser with a modern electronic ignition system. The one I personally recommend is the one we sell, what is part number 1540000. It's electronic ignition refit to all our cars. Got a coil. There's no distributor. The beauty about this engine is pure simplicity at its best. A horn, a alternator. The alternator belt gets driven by the fan. This is the oil breather. Serves 2 purposes. One, put oil in. If you do put some in, always make sure this is properly catched. I've done it, a lot of people's done it, forgot it. As well as you have oil all over your lovely clean engine. Also, it's an oil breather. Because it's 2-cylinder horizontally opposed, both the pistons go out and come in at the same time. Without this, you will get positive pressure in the sump, and therefore you'll get a lot of oil leaks. But the oil breather takes away the positive pressure. Air filter. Very simple. Does the job. Now, what we got here. The fan spins. This is an engine cowling. Can't see it very well. I might cut to another film where it explains it better. What actually happens, the fan, obviously the fan spins on the front, blows air over the cylinder heads and the barrels, up through the heat exchangers, and this is the exhaust. That's where the heater gets its heat from.
Yes.
And when you turn the lever in the car, it either dumps it out the wing or takes it into the car.
I see.
But if your cylinder heads are blowing, you get exhaust gases under compression, and it comes straight into your cab, and you know when it's happening.
And you'll start feeling sleepy.
This is the exhaust. The exhaust passes through the heat exchanger, then goes down to the exhaust box. So you've got air coming in from the fan. Now that lever I showed you on part 2, where you adjust the heat, basically it's tight, it's connected to this cable. There's a flap inside. When the flap's there, it's blocking the heat, it's stopping the heat going in the car, dumps out the wing. When it flaps over this way, it doesn't dump it out the wing, it brings it into the car. Simple as that. Now, there's another lever, the black knob you pushed backwards and forwards, it moved this. If you can see it, move that. And there's a flap inside. It pushes air onto the floor or up into the demisters. Very simple. Hiya folks, thanks for watching this video. This is just a quick reminder for you to subscribe to our newsletter. There's a link below. You'll also receive our free ebook, the 2CV Buyer's Guide, and it's the best way for keeping up to date with what's going on at the 2CV shop. Now, back to the video. This here is an oil dipstick. Probably can't see it, but the oil level, let's put it over here a bit. The oil level's got to be between those two grooves. We recommend a good quality 2050. You can put 1540 in now, but just make sure it's a good quality oil. Now, those of you who drive your Porsches and sports cars, we all speak about unsprung mass out on the wheel. The 2CV has actually got inboard discs. Those are discs. This is the calipers. The handbrake pads are there. The foot brake pads around the back. It's very simple. There is the starter motor. This is the brake reservoir, and this is the warning switch. If that comes on, your brake fluid's low. Washer pot bottle. Fuses. There's 4 and sometimes 5 fuses on the 2CV. Battery. Voltage regulator. The old school type of car where the voltage regulator is not in the alternator, it's separate. There's several different types. As long as yours is a small one like this, you'll be fine because it's an electronic one. The old-fashioned mechanical ones are probably quite big, this sort of size. If you got one of those, I would suggest possibly changing it. But you want to check it anyway, just make sure it's not overcharging. It should charge somewhere between, when you rev it up, it shouldn't go over 14.6 volts. The other thing, you've got a fuel pump down there. Now, if the fuel pump has not been replaced in the last 3 to 4 years, I would just replace it, because the modern fuel with the ethanol in it, it eats alive the old type fuel pumps. Now, that is our fuel filter. We put it before the pump. Some people put it after. We prefer it before. Another very important thing you might have noticed. These two heater tubes are made out of cardboard. And they've got like a, if I show you, got like a foam lining on the inside. Make sure yours is in good quality, but always make sure they got cable ties on. If you can see it, yeah, it got cable ties on, because one day they won't be in good condition and they sort of fray around the edges, and if you're not paying attention, they can fall off. I don't know if you noticed it, but underneath this is the exhaust, and under poor maintenance, if they're not cable tied on and they fall off and hit the exhaust, they can catch fire. I haven't heard about this for a long time, because now people maintain the cars properly, but when there was a cheap car bought for £200, driven into the ground, scrapped, bought another one for £200, people never maintained them, and that is what happened. Really simple, but the fundamentals, all you need to know is to check the oil. This is how you top the oil up and fill up your washer pot bottle. Like I say, if it's a well-maintained 2CV, it will just look after you. I hope you enjoyed this user guide for a Citroen 2CV. If you have enjoyed it, please like and subscribe.